Yo guys, welcome to my Archnemesis League review. In this video, I'm going to be going over what I thought of the Archnemesis League. I'm going to talk about the stuff that I liked about it and I didn't like about it and give you my overall opinion on it. Without further ado, here we go. So to start off, I'm just going to show you guys what Archnemesis League's kind of about. So what the league is pretty much these items drop and then you can put them in these little altar things. There's a bunch of little recipes and then some bigger recipes as well, and then depending on what you put in there is going to affect the loot drop and what the monster has for attributes. You can put up to 4 in here and like link them together and get like a bunch of loot explosions at the end. You can also put in a couple things to drop like an upgraded version of the 2 items that you put in there to get even higher quality recipes. So one of the more popular recipes is the Trent Horde recipe, which drops a lot of scarabs and stuff. To make the Trent Horde recipe possible, you need to get a bunch of different items to get it so it can drop the items for the Trent Horde recipe. So the 4 items that you would need for the Trent Horde are Mirror Image, Trent Horde, Assassin, and Rejuvenator, but you have to use like the lesser items that drop in the maps to make the items for this. So for the Mirror Image, you need an Echoist and a Soul Conduit. For the Trent Horde, you need Toxic, Sentinel, and Steel Infused. Assassin, you need Deadeye, Vampiric, and Rejuvenator, you need Gargantuan and Vampire. And then once you get all those, you can put the items in a certain order in and get a bunch of loot explosions. Here's a little video I can show you how the Trent Horde recipe works and show you some of the loot explosions at the end. Alright, time for the first part of the Trent Horde. Let's get some loot explosions going on here. Harbinger Scarab. And the next one, Trent Horde. Hopefully I don't hit that breach, or this could be interesting. Next one for Assassin. A whole bunch of scarabs on that one. Time for the last loot explosion for this Trent Horde. Let's see what we get. Hey, 1 Exalt. Works for me. So what did you guys think of that? That was amazing, wasn't it? This league is going to be great. Sadly, that's the only fun part of this league. I'm going to go into a little deeper breakdown about why I personally did not like this league. Firstly, I want to point out that I am not the biggest fan of micromanaging every little thing in an action RPG game. I just want to go kill a bunch of monsters, pick up some loot and stuff, and just have fun with the game. The inventory that you have to pick up all the items is just a big mess. Nothing stacks, so you only have like a limited space, and you have to really like figure out what you want to do and then leave half the items on the ground and then pick up only the ones that you need for like the bigger recipes. For me, what would make the league a little bit more funner is if stuff actually stacked, because you can just like chain run a whole bunch of maps, and since you need like a ton of resources from the weak mechanic, then you can sit down at the end and be like, okay, we can figure this out now. Like, what do we want to do? Do we want to get achievements or try to get big loot explosions or whatever? But the fact that if nothing stacks, then you have to like pay attention. It's like, all right, well, how many of these like Deadeyes do I have, or how many Vampirics do I have, or Gargantuans or whatever? I only want so many, but I don't know how I picked it up. So now I have to stop, look through my inventory, sort it out, delete the stuff I don't want, make sure I have space for newer stuff or whatever. I found that it like wasted a lot of time, and to be honest, if I wasn't trying to go for all the achievements, which I probably won't finish because it's just like, I would skip the whole league mechanic altogether, because you can get so much more loot and fun stuff, and then with like the new end game changes and stuff and the map atlas stuff, that's a lot more exciting to me than just, oh, alright, let's organize our inventory for a while. For me to be able to do all the recipes I want, I actually have a little book beside me, and I wrote them all down so I can like quickly glance over and just see, alright, I need this, 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 and this, or like, I don't have a dual monitor, which I know I gotta get with the times. I would use a dual monitor instead, but I go a little more old school. I feel like if you have to do that, then like something's wrong. I don't know if it's just me that feels that way or if everybody else does. Like, you know, leave a comment down below and let me know what you think about that. Like for me with this, it brings back painful memories of Synthesis League. If you guys don't know what the painful memories would be for that, there used to be like you'd go into like side areas and then get these little puzzle pieces, and then you had to go into the UI of the league and then kind of put the puzzle pieces together to get to different islands. You just sit there like wasting your time doing that instead of killing stuff. And like certain pieces only fit certain ways and whatever. It was annoying. I hated it. I'm glad they didn't add that to the game. It reminded me a lot of that league for sure. So let's talk about one of the really micromanaging, I think, recipes in this. We are going to talk about the Katava touched item that you can put in the Archnemesis thing. So for you guys who didn't know this item duplicates all of the rewards dropped from the Archnemesis thing. In order to get this, you need to have Tukahama touched, Abarath touched, Corruptor, and Corpse Detonator. You have to put all of them in each 4 of the things in the map, and then at the end of that, it'll drop the Katava touched item. So for Tukahama touched, you need Bonebreaker, Executioner, and Magma Barrier. For Executioner, you need Frenzy and Berserker. For Magma Barrier, you need Insinuary and Bonebreaker. For Abarath touch, you need Flame Strider, Frenzy, and Rejuvenator. For Flame Strider, you need Flame Weaver and Hasted. For Rejuvenator, you need Gargantuan and Vampiric. For Corruptor, you need Bloodletter and Chaos Weaver. For Corpse Detonator, you need Necromancer and Incendiary. For Necromancer, you need Bombarder and Overcharged. That will take up to 7 maps if you have everything just to get the one item for this recipe. Not to mention you'll have to memorize or keep an eye out for all of the items that you need just to make this one thing. In all honesty, I have no idea how many hours in game it would take just to get a Katava touched item. All that time that you could focus on getting that Katava touched item, you could probably make more currency just playing the game and not worrying about it at all. To bring up my point earlier about stuff stacking in the inventory, this would save you so much time, and you can just pick up a bunch of stuff like I mentioned earlier and then set up to run these maps instead of worrying about your inventory space and whatnot for all the items. It reminds me a lot of Talisman League, which in my opinion was the worst league they ever made. For those of you who don't remember, you had to have 5 tier 1 talismans and put it in a stone circle. Then get a tier 2, you had to do that 5 times, and hopefully you didn't get the same talisman twice. And then you can do the tier 2 ones to get tier 3, and then you had to do that all over again to get another tier 3 to spawn Rigwald. And if you wanted the highest version of Rigwald, it had to be item level 80 plus. But back then, sustaining maps was not nearly as good as it is now, so it was just really annoying, dumb, and everybody kind of skipped it anyway. In closing, I understand that this league came with a big endgame change, but I still feel like even for that, it was really, really lackluster. It was really boring, it's not fun, it's not exciting, it's just a nuisance, really. It's annoying. Not many people that I know like actually interact with the mechanic. They just, hey, I'm going to make a cool build, check out this endgame thing, the Atlas thing, and go with that. I had fun making some YouTube videos around the loot explosions with the Trent Horde, but you can only do so many of those videos as well before I don't even want to interact with that part of the mechanic, even though I got all those items memorized. To give past examples of leagues that they brought out with endgame changes, with Maven, they brought out Ritual. I was not personally a big fan of Ritual, but it was a lot less of a waste of time in Ritual than it was in this league. You just, in Ritual, you clicked on a thing, killed a bunch of monsters, there's all your rewards, pick whatever, and be done with it. With Awakener, you had Metamorph League, which just, you killed a bunch of monsters, you picked up the organs, created a monster, killed them, got loot, moved on. It was more interesting than this league was. Both those leagues weren't anything overly special, but they were still kind of interesting, and I didn't mind doing the mechanic. I wasn't like, this is annoying, I'm just going to skip it. So my final rating with this league, with Breach, Scourge, and Delve being 10 and Talisman being 1, I'm giving this one a 2 out of 10. Please do not integrate this into the core game. This is way unnecessary bloat for a game that already has bloat problems. I don't see how it would work in core game or how anybody would want to enjoy playing it in the core game personally. The rewards are garbage for how long it takes to get those garbage rewards. There's so many different things you can do to make more currency and even just buy the stuff or just get dropped somewhere else. That's my thoughts on Archnemesis League. I'm going to try to have a video out for what I think about the endgame changes after. Let me know what you guys think of the league down below. I'd be interested to hear your guys' thoughts. If you enjoyed the video, please hit the like and subscribe button. It'll help the channel out a lot, and I'll see you guys in the next video.